Good morning and happy Easter to you. So today is Easter Sunday and I should have been at church leading worship and just sharing a little thought to encourage us. Now obviously I can't do that because rightly so we're all at home keeping ourselves and others safe. But I've managed to get over my fear of seeing myself on this screen in front of me and hearing my voice just because I want to really just share a little encouraging thought with you, which is about hope, which is just so important for this time that we're going through at the moment. So I want to start by telling you an exciting and riveting story about my garden fence. You're right, it's not exciting, it's not riveting, but it is true. It is about my garden fence. So I want to take you back a couple of weeks to the start of lockdown. Now at the moment we're experiencing some pretty beautiful sunshine outside, but if you remember just a few weeks ago now, we had a weekend that was particularly cold and really windy, a bit stormy, and I even think we had a little bit of hail as well. Do you remember that? Okay, so that particular day, Matt was out jogging, crazy fool that he is, and I was at home on the sofa doing some home learning, also known as watching MasterChef USA. Now you might think I'm joking, but my family has put that down as essential viewing at the moment, seeing as McDonald's and Pizza Hut have now closed. I'm just hoping it doesn't backfire and at the end of lockdown I'm no better at cooking, but I am talking like Gordon Ramsay. We'll just have to wait and see. But anyway, I was on the sofa watching MasterChef and I had a text message from a very kind neighbour just to let me know that our garden fence had blown down in the wind. So outside at the back of our house we have a fence that goes down by an alleyway. So I managed to persuade Joel to come outside with me to come and take a look. So we went outside and sure enough, when we got to the side of the house, our fence, which was once upright, was now kind of leaning right to the side. And the problem was that if it were to lean much further or break completely, it would knock into our neighbour's fence and cause some damage there as well. So Joel and I, being the experts that we clearly are, decided that perhaps the best thing to do would be to push the fence so that it was upright again and hope that somehow we could steady it. So that's what we did. We pushed it, only one more little gust of wind, and then the whole fence went from this way upright and then completely with a big crack kind of leaned right into our garden. So now it was no fence at all. So Joel and I went into our garden and we had a look and tried to think about what we could do to resolve the situation. So we decided to try and prop it up. But the problem was, even propping it up, leaning against something, was that every time a gust of wind came, it kind of caught the fence and the whole fence was in danger of blowing right the way over now. And like I say, damaging the fence next door. So I had a look at the situation and then decided what I needed to do was to secure that fence. So I managed to find some rope, which was part of an old rope swing, and decided the best thing was to try and tie one end to the fence post, which had kind of broken, but then tie it to something else. So we had a look around. There was a Joel's goal post, but actually that was just plastic and movable, so not much better, not very firm. And then I realised that in our back garden we have this huge bay tree. It's probably a bit overgrown actually, but one of the branches, a thick branch, was kind of leaning over, growing over the side of the fence. And so I decided that that's what I'd do. So I tied one end of the rope to the post of the fence and the other end I secured really tightly to that tree. And then Joel and I stood back, we waited and we watched until a gust of wind came. And then the fence, which was now upright, when the wind came, it did wobble slightly, move slightly, but it was secure because it was tied to that tree. And I could tell that actually it would probably be okay now until we managed to get someone to come and fix it properly. So what has this got to do with hope, you might be asking? Well, at the moment, we're a bit like that fence. You know, we've got a storm going on in our lives at the moment. Worldwide, this virus is shaking us. It's perhaps doing some damage to our peace of minds and unsettling us. It's bringing some anxiety. It's rocking us. And actually, for some people within that general storm, there is also the storm of loss and grief and heartache. And perhaps, you know, for you and for me at times it feels really overwhelming. Like we don't know how much more we can stand if we are actually going to topple over completely. It feels too much for us. And the reality is that although this is the storm we're facing at the moment, we do experience storms in life. Even before this, if we look back, you know, storms in terms of our circumstances that we're going through, maybe our finances, maybe our health or in relationships. Maybe we've had a storm of disappointment or failure in our lives, or maybe someone's really hurt us significantly, which has felt like a storm. And, you know, sometimes in a stormy situation, when it feels like we're being battered and everything becomes overwhelming, it can be really easy to let go of hope, to feel like, what's the point? Or to feel like this is never going to get better and not be able to see a way out of the situation. Or sometimes we feel like we don't know where to put our hope. What can we hope in? You know, and even at the current time that we're in, we feel like, where can we put our hope? You know, it is right to be incredibly thankful for all the leaders and the medical professionals and the scientists and people we can put a degree of hope in at the moment. But the bottom line is that they are human like us, and they are trying to work things out day to day like us. And actually putting our hope in other people is a bit like me tying my fence to another fence that has just as much possibility as falling down. So where do we put our hope? There's a verse in the Bible in Hebrews 6:19 that says that in Jesus we have this hope, which is an anchor for our souls, firm and steadfast. In another version, which I'll just read to you in the Passion Translation, it says, we have this certain hope like a strong, unbreakable anchor holding our souls to God himself. You know, in my story of the falling over fence, you know, I had to find something that was immovable and firm and steady, and I was fortunate enough to have that tree in my back garden which I could kind of secure my fence to. And for us, in this time, in this storm, in any storm, I just wanted to say that Jesus, not only can put our hope in him, but he is our hope. He's like that tree. He's immovable. He's unshakable. He's firm. Because Jesus is eternal, it says that he is the same yesterday, today, and forever. He doesn't change. His love doesn't change. And not only that, but Jesus is victorious. You know, this Easter Sunday, we're remembering the fact that he loved us so much that he died on the cross for us, and in doing so he paid the punishment for our mistakes and our sins. And so we know that if we come to him, that we can be forgiven. But not only that, but his love for us was so strong, and he is so powerful that when he died, he defeated death, because we remember today that he rose again. So this hope that we have is not just for now, in this moment. It's not just a hope for our minds that gives us peace in our minds and peace in our hearts, which it does. But this hope that we have is for our souls. It's that eternal part of us, because we know that trusting in Jesus isn't just for now, it is for eternity. And it says that whoever puts their trust in him will never, never be disappointed. You will never be disappointed when you trust in Jesus, the eternal one, the one who loves us so much he gave his life for us, the powerful one who could not be held by death, but he overcame death so that we can say, where, O death, is your victory? Where, O grave, is your sting? Because Jesus is eternal. He's the Lord of Lords. He's the King of Kings. Storms will come. They will. After this storm, there's likely to be another one at some point in our lives. Storms will go. This storm will go and we'll return to some kind of normal. But I just want you to be encouraged and know that in Jesus, you can have an eternal hope for your soul that anchors you. He will be with you in the storm. He will uphold you in the storm, and he will never let you go. God bless you.